Hi guys, it's Crystal with Design Bundles. Today I have a super fun project, not one project, but two projects. So I'm going to be using the trash, if you will, from our first project to make another project. Let me go ahead and explain. So today I'm going to show you guys how to do a knockout with the offset feature in Cricut. So this is a knockout. So we're going to be using the t-shirt color here as our font color. So this is a knockout. Now off camera, I added a few extra little pieces here to kind of spruce the t-shirt up. Now wait, I used the trash pieces to make a whole nother t-shirt. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how we did it. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so let's go ahead and start with Cricut Design Space. I've already uploaded both of my SVG files that we will be using today. So these are both of the files I'm using. I'll have them linked down below. So with this one right here, we're gonna do a knockout with the offset. And with this one here, I need to make sure I weld everything so we can do some slicing. So let's start with that first. So let's start with this piece and let's weld it so that way it's one solid piece. All right, so now you can see it is one piece right here instead of hundreds. So that one is ready to go. Now, let's go ahead and get to this one. So we're gonna do a knockout with the offset. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come over here and I'm gonna weld everything. All right, so I've got this welded. So now we're gonna come to offset and get an offset going on. Now I'm gonna use what they have for us ready to go, what they have already, designed out using the 0.25. But if you wanted a bigger offset or a smaller offset, so bigger, you would just drag this circle to the right, smaller, you would take it to the left. But I'm happy with this outline. I'm going to hit apply. Now, some things that you may notice with these offsets, so for example, I've got a few small pieces that are cut out right here. If you didn't like that, you can simply find that layer right over here on the right and hit contour. Hit hide all contours, and you could get rid of those pieces. Now I'm going to leave mine today because I think it gives the design just a little bit more interest instead of one solid background. So it kind of breaks it up a little bit, if you will. So I'm completely happy with this. Now we want to do a knockout. So what I need to do is select both of these pieces here, and let's hit slice right down here. And we can get rid of this layer. And we can also get rid of this layer right here. And that leaves us with our knockout design. So we're ready for this. All we need to do is size it. So I want this to be 10.5 wide, and it's going to give me 11.027 high, and I'm completely happy with this. Now, the material that I'm using today is a 12 by 18 piece of glitter HTV. So I want to utilize all of that I can, because I'm going to take this here and apply some to the sleeves and the bottom of the t-shirt. So I want to utilize as much of that material as I can. So what you can do is come to shapes, so that way you can visually see your material. I've got my square. I'm going to hit unlock. I'm going to come up here and do 12 inches wide by 18 inches tall. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lock that back, and I'm going to come down here and I'm going to zoom out so that way we can see it. And I'm going to change this to white just so I can see what's going on here. And I'm going to hit arrange, send to the front. There we go. That way we can see it. Now I know with a Cricut, it's not going to cut right up there at the top. It's going to come down a little bit. So I'm going to give myself a little bit of room for error. And then we're going to take this piece here. This is the point of what I'm needing to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that, arrange, send to the front so I can see it. So I want to utilize as much of this space here that I can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this up here. Once again, I'm going to leave myself a little bit of room for error. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this 11.5 because I already know that Cricut doesn't really like to cut anything wider than 11.5. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm going to line that up here. Now I'm going to leave myself a little bit of room for error down here once again. But what we're going to do is we're going to come to shapes. We're going to get another square. And we're going to get it right over this. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to unlock it and we're going to drag it over. You just want to make sure you're definitely over the design just a little bit. And then I'm going to bring it down. All right. So once again, I'm leaving myself a little bit at the bottom so that way I have room for error. So I've got this square selected, and I'm going to select my leopard print here. So I'm not selecting any of this, just these two designs, and I'm going to hit slice. So it's one single piece because we welded everything earlier, right? So now I can trash this and I have this piece here. So I can trash this as well as this, and now I have this. So this is going to be able to go on here. So now I can change this back to black, just like so, and then that way it will cut onto one sheet of HTV. So if I actually go to make it, and actually I need to change my machine. I was using a Joy, so I'm going to change this to the Cricut Explorer family. And I need to delete this now. We don't need that. That was just to help us get through. We're going to hit make it. So first of all, Cricut's going to want to throw it on 2 separate mats, but I'm just going to come over here and tell it I'm cutting on a 12 by 24 mat, and now they will go together. So if you notice, I have an 18-inch piece of material and I have this much room left, and we're good to go. So now we're ready to cut it out. Today's HTV, we are using Sparkleberry's Glitter HTV, and it does not have a carrier sheet. So you've got to purchase that separate. So as you can see here, it's super nice and bright. You can see the glitters happening because there's no carrier sheet on it. So I thought this would be a great example. So when you're loading this, you're going to load it face up on your cutting mat because it doesn't have a carrier sheet. Now, if you do have a carrier sheet, you would flip your Glitter HTV upside down and mirror it. So I don't need to mirror anything because it's not upside down. So that's what's super awesome about it. I chose the same glitter settings like we normally would and let my Cricut do its thing. So I thought this would be a great example because it's a question I get all the time of how to tell the difference between HTV, and we can't say because it has a carrier sheet because not all HTV does. So I definitely wanted to touch base with that today with today's project. So I'm just going to let Cricut cut everything out for me, and then we're going to go ahead and weed it out. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to be very, very careful because I want to save these pieces. So for the letters and the hair that's going to come out of here, I'm trying to be very delicate with it so I can use these for the other t-shirt. Now, if you're not going to reuse them, then obviously you don't have to be careful. Now, the really cool thing about this pin is I mostly can use my fingers, but with the pin, it makes such a teensy tiny hole you can't even tell. So it's perfect for a project like this. Now, another quick tip for, Glitter HTV, sometimes it's really hard, especially with this pattern, it's really, really hard to see where those lines are. But if you'll roll your HTV, you can start to see those cut lines. Another thing is you can use something like a, bright pad or a light. You can use your iPad. Sometimes you can get it on a bright screen. There's apps for that, and definitely check that out. So now that I've got everything weeded out and I've saved the other side, what we're going to do is we're going to take that carrier sheet. So there's a medium tack and then there is a heavy tack. The heavy tack is for the high tack, if you will, for glitter. So you want to make sure you're getting the correct ones. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this side up first. I've just kind of laid everything where I wanted it. I'm not concerned about the hair laying exactly where I need it because I can adjust that on top of this. So as you can see, I'm just rubbing anything down that doesn't want to pick up. This stuff is super strong, guys, as you can see. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pin again, and you could take your weeding tool, whatever, and just readjust if you need to, because it's not permanent on here. You can readjust in case you've messed anything up using this side of the design. So this stuff would have been completely trash, but we're not going to trash it. We're going to save it and make a whole another t-shirt. So now we've got everything ready to go. I'm going to get my t-shirt here. These are 100% Bella canvas, and I'm going to just get everything ironed out and just pulling out any sort of moisture, and then we're going to take our design. So now this is what you normally would see with Glitter HTV is a carrier sheet on top, and that's all this is. Now because mine doesn't fully cover everything, I've got a piece of butcher paper on top. You could use a Teflon sheet or whatever just to protect my Cricut Easy Press since everything's not covered. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly go over that. I pushed the button about twice and just went over everything all the way around, as you can see, and I peeled hot. So you can see how super cute this was. I didn't have anything super straight. I kind of threw it on there messy because messy bun and getting stuff done, it just went together. Now, I love the way these colors came out too on top of the black. They just popped so well. So think of your colors when you do these things. So for example, this one is a knockout. I'm using that same transfer sheet, by the way, guys. It's the same one I used over there. You can reuse these over and over and over again. You can also use the carrier sheets from your previous, say glitter vinyl or HTV. Just save those so you don't have to purchase any for brands like this. So I'm just going to go ahead and peel this away so we can be good to go. So be very careful because you can tear your HTV. Now when we press it, you totally can't tell, but you can tell that I went to tear a couple of those pieces pulling that away. I'm telling you, that stuff is super strong. So now I'm going to line this up. So be mindful. Also, I lost a little piece of my O there undone, but be mindful when you choose the color of your t-shirt because these are 100% cotton. You could choose whatever color you want to, and that's the color of the font that's going to pop through. So that's what's really cool about a knockout. So I'm just going to quickly go over everything here. Once again, I just pressed the number about twice since it's such a big, I'm using my smaller press. And then that's it. You're just going to peel it right up. How super cool are these? Two totally different looking shirts, and it was one sheet. So I mean, you're saving a ton of money using one piece. You can do this with regular HTV as well, guys. So what do you guys think? Super cute, right? Now, I lost the footage, to be honest with you guys. I had it on the wrong camera, so I didn't catch me adding these pieces in. But all I simply did was I took, you seen where I cut these out, I just took and cut them up. I used the same transfer sheet, attached it to that, cut it up, and added these anywhere I wanted to on the shirt to kind of spruce it up just like so. So I'll back it up a little bit so you guys can see. How adorable is this? Super cute, right? So you're gonna have the knockout design, and I know I struggled with my cameras a little bit. The lighting really was messing up, but hopefully you guys can now see how bright and vibrant this stuff is. It's super, super cute. Now, once again, this is Sparkleberry HTV. So a lot of times you can find this at Michael's. So then what do you guys think about this one? This could have totally been trash. How many times when we're reading out something like this, like a knockout, we just toss this out? I will be truthful with something like this with the hair. It is a little bit more time consuming because I had to be real careful not to tear this up. You know, I did tear a few pieces, you guys could see that, but I still was able to save it. So this is a little bit time consuming, not these pieces here. So you could totally keep these pieces, not the hair, but it's totally worth keeping the hair. So definitely try to do that. But I love the way that it came out. And so now I have two t-shirts which look totally different. Let me get them both up here, and so you guys can see them side by side. So you have two totally different t-shirts. How super cute is this? So I'm super, super excited. I am honestly really bummed because I did this one in my size and I did this in my daughter's, and I want them both. So let me know down below, will you guys be trying this? Will you guys be trying the knockout? Let me know in the comments down below. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please hit the like button down below and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.